Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays Monster Train, where things have been going pretty well. You know what? Send it. There's no flex like beating the game on random. Stygian, main, Hellhorn, flex. Okay. Didn't we just tried to do the opposite of this. How very interesting. Honestly, I feel like silencing the enemy active abilities is really valuable. Disabling, it doesn't disable Slay, but disabling sweep, I should say. It disables Slay, and Incant, and Harvest, and, you know, Ember Drain, maybe? Enemies get -1. I trust me, I see the value. And you know me, hold on, I'm a Frostbite man, and you're a Sap. Good. Frostbite v Sap. I'm feeling okay. Honestly, on Covenant rank 25, and I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I haven't read the game FAQs guide to how to do this. I'm not a regular on the subreddit. But in my heart of hearts, I feel like, might as well smack you. I feel like this is the right way to handle it. And I feel like turning on the trial early is not always the best decision, in spite of how it maybe looks. They did make this more expensive, huh? In spite of how it maybe looks. We gotta get you. I know that might seem backwards, but genuinely, I'm like, I think that first trial, now that your pyre starts being a little bit damaged, is no longer necessary to have a solid and incredible run. Now, I don't know how we're gonna get through this without taking damage, but I guess the way that we're gonna do it is just by placing as much frostbite on you as possible. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Alright, so let's use your noggin. What are we looking for? What are the key units and the key spells? Key spells, I never really know. We will take one flash freeze, though. If we were building an imp deck, I think this is fine. Vent with some spell power, I think, is good. I mean, do we have an imp deck? We have 2 imps, right? I wouldn't. I wouldn't right now. I think we could take a vent for some AoE coverage, but we need to upgrade it pretty quickly. We want Stygian Frostbite. I mean, I think that's just it right now. I think that's our king unit. So I'm going to take a slightly different path than usual. So the Sap Totem is historically insanely good. But it's so expensive. I believe that it's still good, but we just, as of right now, getting it as an option this early just seems uncastable to me. So, you know, I know what you're thinking. What if you made this 45 twice and then also removed consume? I don't think that's high value for us. What about this? Realistically, I think the vent working once is pretty good for us. If we removed the consume, it would be expensive to do. And then it would deal less. It would really be like 1 energy, 20 damage to all. You know what? I actually think this is a bold and bizarre play. So for 0, it still does 20 damage to all units, which I think is, even into the late game, that will crush all the backline units. Now, I don't really want to do this, but I feel like a unit draft is essential early on so we can figure out where this run is going. And for right now, I think we do have a genuine problem. 2, 5. Basically, the first thing I'll say is that every unit is just going to be a tank for our champion for the time being. But the second thing is that... No, this. Much better. You won't die. You know what? Yeah, you had spell weakness. But we really need to figure out where we're going unit-wise. We're still We're still up in the air there. So you have 9 frostbite, so playing this for 0 is good enough. So what do we want to do then? It's a great question because there's no real place to put this. There's no real place to do anything here. I guess we could set up this floor, and then we could stop you from doing 2 damage. Well, we could have stopped you from doing 2 damage. No, we still can, because playing this for 1 literally doesn't... maybe we can't. But playing it for 1 literally does not change the optics of the situation in the least. So you're not being affected too much here. That's pretty bad. I think you want to look for something like this. I really think this is as good as it gets for us. The armor is really devastating. I'm pretty sure we just lost. Yeah, alright. I mean, I'm not saying that there's nothing we could have done. We could have not turned the trial on, and then we won? Well, that is a surprise. Some days seems very useful here. Rage is expensive, but very valuable. Oh my god. It's the exact unit we wanted. So you're saying there's a chance. We do want other units, don't get me wrong. I mean, if we're gonna protect our Pyre, I think we need another unit more than we need the Pyre HP. I know that seems pretty backwards, but it's because we're so low. Frostbite 2 is unlikely to change things too much. Dude, a second Titan Sentry is totally fine. Actually totally fine. 5, probably a little bit too much. I will be honest with you, I actually feel like, and to get me to do this on a on Covenant rank 25 is insane. But I think our vent is good enough to be copied 5 times. Now, it would have been nice to just have a chance to like give it holdover. We'd need spells getting an extra slot, but I think that this does a ton for us. So on the you already take frostbite damage, so we literally like do not care about you essentially. But we will keep playing these just because it does 20 damage every time anyway. So none of the support units are going to make it up, which is gorgeous. And really, you should be on this floor as well. And then a train steward. I'm going to put you up here just so you can do some extra damage, because again, like, this just pretty much creams them. Alright, so you might not have believed me where I was going earlier, but things look pretty good now. Bizarrely. Honestly, I think it's for the best to do something like, yeah, do something like this. Just to have the units get more frostbite on the bottom floor is always going to be nice, right? So, a vent is huge here if we get one, and we did indeed. One day we're going to find a way to play this glacial seal, but it is not right now. With only one vent, we definitely want to play it on the bottom floor. So I think we'll frostbite you. Torches are not really going to do much. You might as well put the glacial seal up there and then play this then. Now, it's worth pointing out, we still could lose. Like, our Pyre only has to be hit one time. Everyone's doing fine. So I think you just do that and apply some frostbite. Some rage would have been nice as well, but it is what it is. It applies 1 frostbite, 2 frostbite. 2 frostbite, huh? I like the sounds of that. Alright, we're on final wave. We can't play both Vent and Frenzied Swarm. Unfortunately. It's weird. You dying doesn't really affect us that much. We'd still like to kill you faster, but like you don't do any damage, so I don't think it actually changes your time to kill that much. But I don't think the daze is better than, you know, 20 whatever damage we get. So I would say you probably still do something like that. And then just, maybe a train steward on the top would have been better, but I'll be honest, I kind of just misclicked. Alright. So you're taking 350, which means you're dead. Even if they didn't die here, the frostbite would stack up on them and it would get ridiculous. So right now, everything's fine on capacity. I really am interested in draw. I am. As an option. I do feel like with our rage enablers, energy is kind of its own... It's also value. I don't... Dude, I just don't know, okay? I just don't know, okay? We're going there. And if you got a problem, call somebody. We're going energy first. Maybe draw a second. But there's draw relics that are easy enough to get around. We need to upgrade units, and the fact that there's pyre health here is just like, it's a huge blessing in disguise. Or in appearance. I'm stunned we're still alive. So more HP. We've learned our lesson is the Stygian. The Stygian tank is just God. It's God to us. Making either of the sweep units quick is kind of interesting. I think making a heavy, like a hard-hitting unit quick is a little bit better, but we'll make one of our sweepers slightly stronger. We're gonna refresh. Multi-strike, obviously, we would have loved to have had it, but we didn't get it, so be it. I think what we're gonna do is apply a little rage because you're gonna play at the back line and can't gain armor 1. I don't think it's great, but it is cheap to put on our glacial seal, and there's a modest synergy there, I suppose. I think we still just want frostbite. Sweep is good, but we already have 2 sweepers, so we got to be extremely cautious about pyre health, and really, and no, we can't afford to turn this on, because we rely on our spells quite a lot right now, which is not surprising because we are Stygian, but we need to find a way to keep these enemies from making it to the top. So as much frostbite as possible, as early as possible, is going to be big for us. She's so excited. Okay, it's a good start. Collector is toasted. So we definitely want... Hold on, you could have fit down here. That's my bad. Dude, having a vent on every turn or almost every turn is hilarious. Sorry, a 0-cost vent that does 20. No less. It's a very solid situation. I don't know if we even played the fledgling imp here. I think you might do better just by going like... Yada. Yada. Guess it would have been better because we didn't kill the frontline enemy. It would have been better to use it on up here to save some gas. But so one of these days you're gonna do something. The time is not right yet. Just trying to stop you from doing any damage if possible. And you know what? Yeah, you come up there and tank a little bit. I mean, so far this looks fantastic. I think you... Rage is tricky right now. I think you rage our sweep unit. We're getting set up for the future. So you're taking 286, which is pretty good. This might be a turn where a stun is actually better, because it'll buy us another 30 frostbite. In which case we wouldn't play vent. We would go daze, 399 with a lot of frostbite, and you're not even, the guys at the back not even getting to attack us. It's the same as basically hitting them with the vent in this situation. So you're dead, but this is where we would use that. Alrighty. Still could use some unit upgrades. More than spells, I would say. These are all very interesting, but unfortunately our deck is already too fat with great cards. If we had capacity for the imps, I could take it, because I'd really like to get some armor going on them with the welder helper, but if it can't be done, it can't be done. We don't really want to dupe another card, except maybe the, whatever, the armor of the ancients. So I think cutting down on our already pretty prodigiously large deck is pretty solid here. Now we've only got the units we want to see. Multi-strike is really good. Now I would have loved to have put it on our frostbite unit. On spell weakness, still pretty good. And honestly, I like this right out the gate. And then plus 25 on this tank. Obviously, we'd love to make a super tank, but we're going to have to wait on that one. So, Torches and Frozen Lance are, in my opinion, two of the worst basic spells in the game. But we're getting there. I mean, for duplicating a card 5 times, we're getting there. You come out with Stealth, which is very dangerous indeed. We will not turn that on. I'm trying to think. At least when you hit us, you're still going to get Frostbite. Sucks to draw that on turn 1, huh? So you guys are all toast. 6, 5. No, sorry, 4. Okay. So, typically, I would say we're going Champ. We're going to create like a super Frostbite floor with space for a tank. Then you're going to be up here. And I think it's better to just get you armored up. It might seem useless, but I think it's actually very, very useful. And these tanks are the same. Because you're still going to need it for the future. You know, you're still going to need it for the boss. I would have preferred to have put it on the tank, but it is what it is. So Daze doesn't really do much here. Fledgling Imp does nothing at all. I really think your only play is like that. I don't know, maybe Daze compromises your triggered ability? I know it doesn't, but man, that would have been sick. Alright, finally, our vents have existed. You're taking 78 damage. We don't really care about you, because you don't... Well, you are going to do 4 damage when you come up, but that's not a big deal. Like, we'd rather you just died right now. We're going to draw vents, like, forever. What did I tell you? What did I freaking tell you? Now this time, because you're dying and you're only taking 4, let's try to get in front of this guy right here. It's unnecessary, but that's the good stuff. This seems solid so far. This is a deck unlike any other I've ever had, but we're holding it down. Now straight up, this unit is not long for this world. However, being able to even get any frostbite out of them is nice. And then secondarily, the fact that they are going to take a hit is going to take a hit of stealth off of the boss. So we're going to put the rage on you still. Might as well put it on the unit furthest to the back. And then one of these, and one of these, and one of these, and one of these. So we applied 10 frostbite. Now we gotta live through a few turns. You're only taking 108, which is pretty bad. It's just not good. I feel like the imp doesn't do much for you. So if you're taking 108... I don't really know how that looks. I think we actually should be putting rage on you from the get-go. Now you're taking 110. Once the stealth is done, which it just finished, everything should become a little better. And it did. I think we're gonna live. It's definitely close. Definitely close. Alright. I mean, Mollusk Mage does make Vent better. We're suffering a lot from capacity. It would also make Ice Storm incredible, but we can't take both. So we'll take neither instead, huh? So Inferno actually, I think, does fine in this deck, because right now we do tend to have a floor where we have nothing. So I think this is a rare situation where it works. Now, the next thing we should do is, for certain, put... and we need the Pyre health. The Relic is a nice bonus. Yes. Put the rage on the champion. Or not on the champion, on the multi-strike unit. Very essential. I would love to remove consume. Rage 16 is probably better than armor 50. I stand by it. Now, what needs to be cheaper? A lot, but Ritual of Battle. I mean, Rage 16. You know what? Let's not worry about it. Let's just try to stay alive and not sweat the whole, you know, the meta game that we got going on here, which is admittedly somewhat prickly. Okay? So we're loving the frostbite, don't get me wrong. We didn't draw a tank. What do I like? Okay, so this is our small floor. We still want this to be our frostbite floor, but we're just going to set up our sweepers a little differently. No, we want this to be our frostbite floor. Although the units that, like this 9-2 unit is going to be spicy, it's not going to get to attack this turn. So I think we like you. And you're a spell weakness multi-strike, but you're going to do a lot of damage once we have you enraged. I still think you go in front. But I also don't mind this now, because it still delays your death in the future. Then we play this. Then we play this. It's an okay start. This is a good start for not having a single tank so far. Let me put it that way. You knew you were drawing one. Okay, so we love that. Now, where do you not put units? It's a tough one. I would say in the middle, because it's low capacity anyway. And I feel like we have... well, I don't know. I feel like some units will slip through the cracks, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So by having a middle floor that's totally open, I think we're in a good spot. So we know we want this. A good spot to use Armageddon or whatever the spell's called. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know why you're being weird about it. Okay. Still doing gangbusters on the bottom floor. So Ritual of Battle is pretty important. It pretty much has to go on you. And you get this is the cannibalistic scenario. What do you prefer, Frenzied Swarm or Vent? This time, I think we prefer Frenzied Swarm, which means sadly we can't play anything else for now. The reason we like it is because it does kill these units. Our champ takes no damage. And, I mean, you're not really doing that much by being here, so I'm not sweating it. We have a sweeper on the top floor as well. No, we want to use Vent on the bottom. Sorry, I was just thinking, like, if we wanted Glacial Seal and then to start stacking Frostbite on you. I really feel like Glacial Seal is kind of the odd card out right now. We could accept Ultimate Penance as damage this time. I mean, like, hear me out. We could Torch you. Then we don't have to play Vent on this floor. We could play Vent on that floor and Glacial Seal. Okay. Alright, you've got my interest. You do take 12, but that's... Alright. But are you going to live? Oh, you're going to live. You're going to live well. So we're going to... Yeah, we'll take the Ultimate Penance. It does mean that when we play Inferno, obviously our Glacial unit is sapped, or is destroyed, I should say. But that's okay. We're drawing it next turn. So we can actually let them die on this turn if we wanted. And then that would allow us to kill any unit that makes it up, which is no unit. I feel like this is actually a good situation to get all of the rage enablers out of our deck. Because we just don't want to draw them in a more difficult situation. So you're dead. We don't mind you taking a slight bit of damage to save the damage on our big tank here. And all we need is like a spell. Yeah, okay. And we got a couple. You taking 6 damage is not superb. We don't care to do Inferno on this floor, because we'd really love it to hit the champion, especially with spell weakness. I think we're going to let it cycle around one more time, because it's not doing much for us right now. So we'll probably end up playing this. That seems like a given, quite frankly. Man, I wish we had extra armor for you. That's the only thing. We can't really afford to wait for Armor of the Ancients to come around, I think, but man, oh man, it would be sick. It would be sick. So I'm kind of holding off on Inferno, hoping that we can get it to work with spell weakness rather than just popping with Vent right away. So I think we like this. And then this. And then 2 Vents. Probably one. Probably both on the... Well, it doesn't matter if we do both on the same floor. Might as well get more armor on you. Not that it's gonna matter too much. Alright. Are we gonna live? You're taking 539. Which is honestly a great sign. Because 539 represents a lot of spell weakness and a lot of frostbite. So we really want Inferno, dude. But for now, I think we just accept... Helical Crystals will be good too. Really, we're gonna draw a spell that's better next time. So we're going to give you Heavy Rage, which will also apply... Well, it's not going to change your Frostbite, but... I don't think we're going to play Vent at all. And we may regret it, because Vent is like 100 and something damage, but Helical Crystals will just smash you. You're taking 492. What did I tell ya? Now, it was very close. It's very close, but we got there. I think capacity is our friend. We have run into, well, kind of. But how are we going to play one horns? We could go full energy and play one horn. I think we owe it to ourselves to give it a shot. I think that beats capacity. Preferably. So we want unit upgrades with golds. I think. Because we still need our champs, or sorry, our tanks to get stronger. I hate the reroll. However, hold on, I'm like... We still only have 2 floors that are useful, because one floor is going to be screwed up by capacity. But I really feel like a large stone is the play. It makes your tank that much tankier. Let's see what else we got going on here. Purge a card, gain a card. Yeah, take a Frozen Lance, please. Give me Hellhorn for armor? I think we can do it because we're kind of going for multi-strike, but... Well, how many cards do we have? 33? That's actually not that bad. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay. The only question is, it's pretty simple. Are our tanks capable of living long enough for the Frostbite to do lethal damage? Now, our Seraph isn't that scary, except for the fact that they have so much more HP than usual. So we gotta be very careful with our planning. Hello. We have to be very careful with our planning. The large stone tank can only go here with our champion, which is really not how we want to set it up. It was very good. Thank you. So this sucks, is basically what I'll say. I'm going to try the boldest play you've ever seen. Glacial... Let's walk it through. Glacial Seal. 3 energy remain. Torch. Torch. You're not dead, but you're closing in on death. It won't kill you. It'll kill you with Frostbite, but that's not what we need. You will not live through an attack. 10 damage, 10 damage, 1 damage. We'd lose the Silophyte in the process. I hate it. Yeah, it won't work. It won't work. So I think you do it like this. I hate to say it. I think you go down here. We still do this. And then I think we have to put the champ at the top. Or alternatively, we can make sure large stone champ goes here, which is probably more valuable. And your multi-strike spell weakness, I mean, you do really well here, but then we don't have space, so you gotta go here. Alright, alright, it is what it is. This is not the turn we wanted Inferno on, but here we are. So you're the large stone tank. You can really only work here. Alright, you would be making it to the top. We would prefer if that were not the case. You are a multi-strike unit, so you getting Rage 16 matters a ton. But, I'm like, at the same time, Inferno does pretty well down here. How much? You got 15 HP? F. You know what does really well down here? Vent. Vent does really well down there. So are you just not going to play Inferno? Yes, that's correct. But where are you going to play Cold Celia? Bruh. Well, there's only one place to fit Cold Celia if you want to play a tank at the front, and that's down here. So I hate to say it. It's just the way capacity and the first turns worked here has made this spicier than average. Without a doubt. We'll lose Cold Celia, but we don't need Cold Celia to beat this wave. Though it would be quite helpful indeed. Now, to be honest, you need this Rage unless we can kill one of these units with it. No, Vent's gonna already kill you. So you need the Rage for the future. Honestly, it's pretty tempting to just daze you for a turn. And we can even put a weird little tank up in front of you here. I think that beats Vent, because we have Sweep anyway, which is a Vent in and of itself. Okay. Now how are we looking? Obviously not great. But can we get a could be worse? Can we get a could be worse, please? So I think, to be honest, you're already toasted. If I could toast you before you get to do damage to this tank, that would be very helpful, though. We know we're playing Vent down here, and we know we want to slow you guys down as much as possible in the interim period, so I think that's all you do right there. So Cold Celia is still roasted. That's okay. Expected, really. So if you could protect our tank, that's very nice, and then die in the process. You love to see it. Then you get wrecked. Frostbite's gonna tear you. Alright. So what's your thing? You need to die. That's not a big problem. Okay. Now this is where you bust out your old mathematical analytics. You get stronger the more damage you take, but has been disabled. So here's what you do, okay? You ready for this one? You have to put Frostbite on you. You die in one hit anyway. From any reasonable unit. That now you're basically applying 80 Frostbite for every turn in which you live. Which is enough to be stoked. And you're dead. The power of the one horn is on full effect. Full display, I should say. No. We kind of would like a March of Shields, I think. I think we've realized armor on our tanks is valuable. Now, what do we need here? I have to feel like spells are kind of... is our big play. It also gives us pyre health. We don't get any extra gold, but do we have, like, holdover? 10 armor a turn doesn't really change things too much, but... what if you can get... oh, you can't get 10 armor double stack. You can get 10 armor free, but... what about if you added it and then duplicated a card? Like, Days 1 has actually proved pretty valuable. We don't want to draw it every turn, but I think it... because it cannibalizes Vent, but I think there are turns where we would like to have it. More turns where we'd like to have it than turns where we would not like to, especially in the early game to try to keep our units alive. I will stand by this. Now, one horn could actually be played with something else. Imagine that. Now, realistically, do I think we have a great chance of winning? No. However, and let's just get that going. However, I do think that this is mighty interesting. I'm very proud of myself for making it here. Sap 3 is not that bad. It's not that bad. We rely on frostbite damage. It's way better than Purge's buffs and debuffs. Let's put it that way. So, can we live on the first turn? What's our crappy capacity? Your crappy capacity. Man, I would love to leave that floor completely empty. So what would we do? The only problem is we don't like frostbite on the top floor. Because it, like, pretty much guarantees that you die. This is just bad draw more than anything else. You really don't want spell weakness on the top floor either, but you do a lot of damage. So there is that. So I think... Oh, but next turn is going to be a doozy. Alright, hear me out. I think you do the same thing you did last time. You pray for a tank. And it's very simple. Thank you. It's very simple. If you don't get the tank, it's over. We've drawn both tanks. We needed large stone tank, which I'm very happy to see. What I am unhappy to see is that the large stone tank is going to take 56 damage, which is untenable if we want to succeed in the future. So thankfully, now we've taken it down to 26 damage. You have a harvest trigger. I mean, you need to get played up here for sure as well. And then... Look, I'm gonna own this. It's gonna be hot. But that doesn't mean that we're incapable of making it happen. So again, Cold Celia is the odd unit out, because we chose to go energy for that one horn payout instead of capacity. You're taking 70 damage. That's okay. A single vent will help us out a lot. So... In fact, I hate to, oh, but we could, no, because we got to stop you from taking 70. We really, that's got to happen. So we're playing Vent on this floor. You deserve the rage. Even though you're going to get hit hard, there's not much there is something we can do about that. Meep. Meep indeed. I would prefer not to summon Cold Celia just to die, even though it would get it out of my deck. I don't think it's your play. We're waiting for these daisies. You know they're coming. Any day now. Man, this is a bummer. You gotta go. You will live. One horns is like so important though. But we don't need it yet. We could wait a little bit. And instead do like this. I hate it. I really do. I really do. But I think if you do this instead, and then Inferno down here, just to slow the rise of these enemies that are moving upwards. You're actually still living, which is surprising to me. I think we owe it to ourselves to daze this floor. This floor has got... It's kind of like all our hopes and dreams hinge on it. So we'll protect you from taking a huge hit. Probably should have played the Glacial Seal. Dunk-a-dunk, dunk-a-dunk-a-dunk-a. Our champ is the most important thing. I do... Oh my god. I do think we're toasted. But I think we're almost stabilized. As insane, and I recognize the true insanity of it, but as insane as that sounds. So this is one where I think we actually don't want Frenzied Swarm. I think our vents are a little bit more valuable. Because Frenzied Swarm won't let us kill almost anything on this one. So I think we do... like... this... You're still living. It's far from optimal. But you are alive. Please stop summoning a unit every turn. Now this is it's the situation you just hate to see. Both tanks dying usually forces you to make a choice. And we really can't minimize the damage here. So I would say you have to play... You have to play events up here to keep this tank alive. And you have to slow down these units. But our champion is on their own. However, we could draw Cold Celia. Our champion is still alive, which is very surprising. I don't think we can keep this this tank alive either, unfortunately. But this is like, okay, you're safe there. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I mean, I'll settle it for you. We're not gonna do it, but I'm still pretty impressed with myself. And Frostbite is the only way we're gonna get kills here, but we're kind of stuck. We just didn't have quite enough gas. On the other hand, what if we could just do 3,000 damage to you right here? You ever consider how sick that would be? So, like, how about that? And, like, can't really play that. Can't really, so how, check 279, baby, and you're dead. Okay. Still a good run, like a run that I'm not disappointed in. I'm happy that we got ourselves close, but it's definitely not quite where we wanted to be. For now, though, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.